Introduction. The coaches, these enlightened creatures who, in just 5 magical steps, promise to transform your life into a journey of success, prosperity, and eternal happiness. You know that money you don't have, that confidence that eludes you, and that peace of mind you never found? Don't worry, because all of this is just a workshop away. Of course, as long as you shell out the amount of a kidney. After all, self-help knowledge is expensive, isn't it? We live in the era where anyone with a well-aligned suit, a cell phone camera, and a motivational smile on their face can proclaim themselves an expert in transforming lives. After all, who needs years of study or practical experience when you can just shout, "Wake up, warrior," on the internet and see desperate followers falling at your feet? It's almost like a used car salesman, but instead of pushing you a problematic vehicle, they're selling you magical solutions to all your problems. Need to lose weight? Make money? Conquer your crush? No problem. The coach solves it. At least that's what they say. The truth is that, in the midst of so much promise of miracles, many coaches are as effective as that diet that starts on Monday and ends on Tuesday. They sell you dreams as if they were fast food packages. Quick, easy, and that leave you with that feeling of emptiness right after. Meanwhile, you spend your time and money trying to find success in a self-help course with the depth of a glass of water. Let's dive a little deeper into this universe and find out how these masters of the obvious manage to turn the act of saying what we already know into a billionaire business. Chapter 1. The Seduction of the Coach. How to solve your life in 5 steps or less. Imagine the scene. You, sitting on the couch, eating that pizza from the day before, which is past the point, but who will judge? Zapping through the videos on social networks. Suddenly, that coach appears. Yes, that coach in a well-cut suit, with a smile whiter than bond paper and an irresistible promise. You are 5 steps away from achieving your financial freedom and transforming your life forever. Element. 5 steps. That's right. Like going to the market to buy bread, milk, eggs, and coming back with your financial independence as a gift. Easy as that. Who would have thought that decades of workers' struggle, sacrifice, and study would be solved with a 2-hour crash course with a digital certificate at the end? These coaches have mastered the art of outlandish promises. They'll make sure you stop working for others within 30 days and start generating passive income while you sleep. And you believe it because, let's face it, who doesn't? After all, we are all tired. The boss screaming, the bill winning, and happiness. Well, she seems to be stuck in traffic. The miracle of coaches' multiplication. Promising quick solutions to complex problems is the bread and butter of the modern coach. Do you have debts? No problem. Just apply the right mindset. Relationship sinking? No stress. 1 motivational phrase a day will save your marriage. Lack of purpose? Easy. Just follow the path to success that the coach designed, probably during a weekend course he took on Zoom. It's basically as if they were saying, "Look, your life is in chaos, but with my magic formula you're going to become the emotional Elon Musk in 3 weeks." The recipe is always like this. Change your thoughts and, magically, the rest will line up. Yes, because your debts will feel your positive vibration and decide to self-liquidate. The boss? Oh, he'll recognize your new aura and promote you on the first day after the mentalization. After all, that's what happens in real life, right? The science behind the deception or not. The truth is that the coaches understood one thing very well. We are predictable. In the midst of chaos, people want quick answers. If you're bogged down in trouble, hearing that everything will be okay as long as you believe in yourself is extremely tempting. It works almost like that magic pill that cures any pain. But, spoiler alert, there is no magic pill. Not even the most expensive ones. That's where the psychology behind deceptive coaching comes in. They know exactly how to mess with our emotions. Instead of helping you face reality, which, let's be honest, isn't always very glamorous, they offer a welcoming bubble of toxic positivity, a place where if you failed, it's your fault for not believing enough, and not the method, which of course is infallible. The trick? Belonging. They make you feel like you're entering an exclusive club of winners. And of course, we all want to belong, right? If everyone is doing well, at least on their Instagram feed, why am I the only one bogged down? It must be something I'm doing wrong. And then you cling with all your strength to the method, as if it were the last lifebuoy in a sea of frustrations. The coach becomes your guru, and the cycle perpetuates itself. The coach's chosen people. Who are the victims? Now, who falls into this trap? Well, almost everyone has thought, even for a second, that they could solve their life with a shortcut. But the preferred targets of coaches are those who are looking for a quick way out of financial, emotional, or professional problems. Do you know that person who has just lost their job and out of nowhere finds themselves bombarded by coaching for high performance ads on LinkedIn? Or the friend who is in the third toxic relationship in a row and starts following an emotional reconstruction coach on Instagram? Or, of course, that family member who has always dreamed of being their own boss and now finds themselves stuck with motivational videos that talk about passive income in 90 days. Yes, this is the vulnerable audience. They are people who are suffering and want to believe that there is an easy answer to life's problems. After all, who can blame? We are surrounded by a world that glorifies instant success. Instagram is pretty much a 24/7 billboard of smiling people, making money and eating brunch in fancy places. If they succeeded, why couldn't I too? And that's exactly where the coach comes in with his tempting promises, his motivational language, and his impressive ability to turn self-help phrases into solutions for everything, from your bank account to your wedding. The trick is to make you believe that it's not the system, it's not the circumstances of life. It's you who isn't trying hard enough. And the only thing missing is the right course, the right mindset, and of course, payments in up to 12 installments on the card. Ready? Thus begins the seduction of the coach. It's sweet, easy to believe, and comes wrapped up in a bundle of inspirational quotes and promises of success. But just like those TV products that promise miracles, reality is much less glamorous than it seems. And most of the time, the only person who gets richer at the end of the story is the coach himself. Chapter 2. The lack of veracity in strategies. How to solve everything with the same formula. That doesn't work. If you've ever come across a coach, you know that they have an innate ability to turn any human problem into something that can be solved with the same magic formula. It's almost like that infomercial that promises that a single product can fry, grill, steam, and even serve as a hair straightener. But if the hair burns and the steak comes out raw, it's your fault, not the product's. Well, with coaches, the method is similar. They have a strategy for absolutely everything. It doesn't matter if you want to be a millionaire, find the love of your life, or discover the purpose of your existence while doing yoga in the morning. The solution is the same. Mentalize, believe, and pay for the next course. Superficial methods. Everything is solved with positivity, is it? The beauty of coaches' strategies is that they are incredibly simple. Too simple, actually. It all comes down to a generic mix of motivational phrases, attitudes of positivity, and some kind of foolproof formula that looks more like something out of a fortune cookie. And of course, the promise is that if you follow the method to the letter, you'll unlock some kind of mystical success. Financial problem? Think positive and visualize the money coming in literally. Thinking about the money will bring it to you, almost like a postman with his magic paycheck. Relationship problem? You just need to vibrate at another frequency, and suddenly the love of your life will perceive your enlightened presence. Health problem? Well, the solution here may be to meditate while reciting phrases of gratitude. It cures everything, apparently. The point is that these methods are so generic that if someone followed these formulas, they could even apply the same technique to decide between pizza or sushi for dinner. Listen to your heart, the coaches would say. But let's face it, if it were that easy, there wouldn't be so many people with their lives in tatters looking for help. The absence of evidence. Where is the evidence? Spoiler, there are none. One thing that every coach will avoid at all costs is to scientifically prove what they are talking about. After all, who needs evidence when you have charisma and a good dose of ready-made phrases? In the world of coaching, it seems that all it takes is a microphone and a PowerPoint with colorful graphics to convince crowds. You know those statistics that they throw everywhere? 98% of my students have changed their lives. Oh, of course. And coincidentally, no one ever knows who that 98% is. They were probably abducted by prosperity and now live in hiding in a paradise of unattainable success for the rest of us ordinary mortals. The truth is that most of the strategies proposed by coaches have no real scientific or practical basis. They create a series of vague concepts that seem profound, but in reality are just esoteric jargon with no meaning. Be the best version of yourself. Align your financial chakras. Transform your mind and the world will transform with you. All very beautiful, but in practice, nothing changes. And the most frustrating thing is that if you can't achieve the results, it's all your fault for not vibrating at the correct frequency. Meanwhile, psychologists, economists, and real experts are grappling with data, case studies, and a mountain of evidence to reach far more realistic conclusions. But these conclusions usually involve a lot of work, time, and effort. 3 things that a coach rarely mentions in his surefire steps to success. Manipulated testimonials. The magic of success cases. Another classic trick of the coach is the famous success case. This is the highlight of any event, lecture, or webinar. At some point, people come up, always smiling and with a twinkle in their eyes, telling how their lives changed radically after they met the coach. It even seems like before and after gym advertising. In the before, the person is a walking chaos. In the after, it became a mix of Tony Robbins and Oprah. These testimonies are the jewel in the crown. The coach will use these stories to convince you that it is possible. But of course, what he doesn't mention is that many of these stories are edited, hand-selected, or in some cases, manipulated to appear more impressive than they actually are. After all, no one wants to see the case of that guy who took the entire course and continued in it, or worse, got into even more debt paying for a mountain of advanced programs from the coach. If you pay attention, the testimonies always follow the same script. The person was at a point of despair, without direction, without money, without love, until suddenly, everything changed when she participated in the workshop. Transform your life in 3 days. That sounds too convenient, doesn't it? The truth is that real results take time, effort, and, most of the time, a personalized approach, something that a generic coach will not offer. But they know that in order to sell, the story needs to be good. Then, they take the few success stories, or at least the ones that may seem successful, and throw them on their social networks as proof that the method works. And who is on the other side of the screen? Vulnerable people, desperate for a solution and unwilling to question whether all that is really true. Thus, the lack of veracity in the coach's strategies is disguised by superficial methods, zero proof, and a good dose of manipulated testimonials. And the result? A legion of followers who spend small fortunes on solutions that promise to solve all problems, but who rarely deliver anything other than empty motivational phrases. Oh, and if nothing works, you just didn't believe it enough. Chapter 3. Abuse is real. When the coach charges the Mona Lisa's face and hands them a doodle. And we've come to the heart of modern coaching, price. We are not talking about just any price, those that you can pay with the change of bread. No, sir. We are talking about values that would make you rethink even that dream of traveling to Paris. After all, why spend on a trip when you can invest in yourself, right? Yes, coaches specialize in charging the equivalent of a Da Vinci piece of art, and in the end, deliver something more akin to a child's doodle in kindergarten. Overcharging. Everything has a price, and what a price. Of course, personal development has a value, but in the world of coaches, this amount is exorbitant. Do you know when you make an online purchase and, in the end, the shipping costs more than the product itself? It's like that, but without product. They sell you transformation, growth, and the VIP package includes being the richest, healthiest, and happiest version of you. The only thing that really makes you lose weight? Your bank balance. Come on. That 3-day workshop on financial abundance costs what, about 500 reais? Of course not. 5.000 Brazilian reals is the price. And that's the promotional value. If you want VIP access, so you can shake hands with a coach and take a selfie for Instagram, it goes for about 10,000 Brazilian reals. And you don't even blink because the coach has convinced you that this is an investment. After all, how are you going to achieve your financial independence without spending the value of an apartment down payment on personalized mentoring? But it doesn't stop there. The initial course is just the beginning. Then comes the advanced package, because, surprise, you failed to achieve the promised results in the basic course. It's almost like buying a car that comes without a steering wheel and having to pay extra to add basic functions. Want to learn how to be more productive? You'll have to pay it. Want to be the most confident person in the room? You will have to pay in 24 interest-free installments or with, depending on the coach. And most ironic of all, the coach, who sells you financial freedom, is getting rich while you sink into debt, believing that the next course, the definitive one, is the one that will change everything. Spoiler, it won't. Psychological pressure. If it doesn't work, it's your fault. In addition to emptying your wallet, the coach will try to mess with your head in a way that makes you question even your name. If you failed, it's your fault. If it didn't work, you didn't dedicate yourself enough. The coach, of course, never makes mistakes. His method is infallible, even if no data proves it. The problem will always be you. This kind of emotional manipulation is brilliant for the coach, of course, because while you're feeling insufficient, it offers you the solution. You've already invested thousands of dollars, so what's a few thousand more? After all, the next course will unlock you. And so, you go from one program to another, thinking that the problem is in your mindset and not in the fact that you are being dragged into a spiral of emotional and financial dependence. Do you know that person who signs up for all the courses, events, and mentorships, but in the end, can't see any significant change in their life? Well, it's on purpose. The more dependent you feel on the coach, the more money you shell out to try to achieve the unattainable promise. And the coach? He continues to collect followers and bank deposits. They create an environment where you can never question the method. If you question it, is because you still do not understand the process. If it's not working, it's because you're not trying hard enough. If it works, merit of the coach. If it goes wrong, well, you already know. Lack of regulation. Coach can do anything. Now, if you think this sounds abusive, congratulations, you're right. And do you know why so many coaches can do this without consequences? Because the profession is a big, lawless territory. Being a coach is practically like owning a popcorn stand. You don't need official certification, just a bucket of charisma and a well-made website. In practice, anyone can wake up tomorrow and decide that they are a coach. You don't need to have training, experience, or any type of specific qualification. Just create an online course, post some motivational phrases on Instagram, and that's it. The new self-help guru is formed. And who will stop it? No one. This is because there is no regulatory body that establishes minimum standards of action. While doctors, lawyers, and even hairdressers need certifications and licenses, coaches are like cowboys in a wild west. They do what they want. They charge what they want, and no one stops them. This lack of regulation facilitates abuse, because coaches hide behind emotional speeches and aggressive sales techniques. If the customer leaves devastated and with the account in the red, it's his problem. The coach has already pocketed the money and can continue with his "I did my part" speech. All of this creates a perfect environment for financial and emotional abuse. Nothing guarantees that the coach you're paying a fortune to be truly qualified to transform your life. And most of the time, it is not. So the next time you're tempted to sign up for that millions in 30 days course, remember, the only one who's really coming out a millionaire is the coach. Abuse may be well disguised behind smiles and promises, but in the end, you're funding the lifestyle of someone who sees you as just another number in their bank account. And the financial freedom you dream of so much? Well, it's literally in someone else's pocket. Chapter 4. The wonderful world of filters. How social media turns anyone into a successful coach. Imagine a world where you don't need a degree, experience, or even an ounce of real knowledge to become an expert at anything. Where the only prerequisite to being a successful coach is a good smartphone, some filters, and the ability to smile at the camera as if you have solved all of life's problems. Welcome to the world of social media, where magic happens and anyone can be a millionaire, spiritual guru, or productivity master, all without leaving their living room or Starbucks. The digital environment, perfect soil for shade and freshwater gurus. In the realm of social media, being a coach is easier than making ramen noodles. Just create an account, choose a niche, high-performance coach, spiritual coach, or my favorite, coach of coaches, and that's it. You are officially prepared to change anyone's life. It doesn't matter if, in fact, you just watched a few videos on YouTube and took a free course on positive mindset on the internet. The important thing is to appear confident and, of course, being surrounded by palm trees in the background and an open notebook, even if you're only looking at cat memes. Now, if you take a look at the profile of any famous coach on Instagram or LinkedIn, the formula is always the same. Photos in paradisiacal places, generic motivational phrases, a heavy dose of videos with deep teachings, which are usually more confusing than illuminating, and, of course, suspicious testimonials. The digital environment is the dream of fake coaches, where they can sell lifestyle instead of competence. The reality? Most of this glamour is just that, empty glamour. Coaches sell success, money, happiness, and productivity while sitting in a cafe, snapping photos during a latte. But from social media, you'd never guess that many of them are more concerned with how many likes they've gotten than the depth of their advice. They talk about changing your mindset, but the only thing that really changes is the number of followers. Filters and appearances. Welcome to the parallel universe. The great truth behind coaches' digital marketing is that nothing is as it seems. Everything is appearance. Everything is filter. They sell you the image of a perfect life, but reality is a swipe away. The coach who posts photos in a sports car probably rented the vehicle for a few hours just to record motivational videos. That expensive cafe where he's always taking pictures. Maybe it's the one thing he's been asking for all day, so he can spend the afternoon occupying a desk and using the free Wi-Fi. But the beauty of social media is that no one needs to know that. People are willing to believe that if the coach is in beautiful places, wearing expensive clothes and smiling all the time, then he must be successful. After all, this is the logic of networks. What you show is what you are, and the coach knows this like no one else. They edit, filter, and pollute their timelines with an edited version of reality that makes anyone believe that the path to success is just an online course away. And the funniest thing, the hardest part of coaching life on social media is creating that illusion of success. They spend more time editing photos and creating inspirational content than actually solving real problems. The coach who promises to free you from traditional work is the same one who actually works nonstop to keep up appearances. But, oh, the feed looks so pretty, right? Online promises. If it's on the internet, it must be true. On social media, everything seems easy. The coach posts that inspirational quote with a picture of him meditating at sunset, and you believe he's achieved enlightenment. But what he doesn't tell you is that, right after the click, he probably took out his cell phone and went to check how many people liked the photo. The coach promises you wealth, but never mentions that his only source of income is the sale of the courses themselves. He sells you the idea that you can quit your job and work remotely from a beach, but forgets to say that he himself is surviving on the basis of aggressive digital marketing and, who knows, some coaching appointments that no one quite knows how they work. Social media is perfect for creating a sense of closeness and trust. You start following that charismatic coach, see the daily stories, get involved with the posts, and before you know it, you are already buying a $2,000 course on wealth mentality. And why not? The coach seems to be always well, always smiling, always in beautiful places. If it works for him, it has to work for you, right? Wrong. What social media doesn't show is the true distance between what is promised and what is delivered. For every success story posted, there are dozens of frustrated people who failed to achieve results and were left aside. After all, who wants to post failures online? In short, social media is the perfect platform for coaches to sell short-term dreams. They manipulate the narrative, create an image of success, and make us believe that if we want to change our lives, we just need to follow in their footsteps and pay for them, of course. The problem is that the only guaranteed success here is that of the coach himself, and the only thing that really transforms is the number of followers and likes. Oh, and if it doesn't work out for you, well, maybe you need another filter, or, better yet, another course. After all, the magic formula doesn't come for free. Chapter 5, How to Spot and Resist False Coaches. The ultimate guide to not falling for the coach's tale. So, you've decided that you want to improve your life. Very good. But before you go out following any motivational guru that appears on your timeline, it's best to take a hold. The world is full of fake coaches who have an uncanny ability to turn your hope into money for them and your life in, well, the same as always, only poorer. Let's find out how to avoid falling into this trap with warning signs, self-knowledge, and a good dose of skepticism. Warning signs. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. False coaches are masters in the art of selling the impossible. The secret is to make promises that are so seductive that you even forget to question whether they are justified. So, pay attention to the warning signs that these coaches like to use. 1. Promises of fast and guaranteed results. If you see someone guaranteeing that they will transform your life in 30 days, or that you will become a millionaire in 3 months, it is good to turn on the red light. Sorry, but there is no magic formula. If there were, everyone would already be living on yachts and traveling the world. In fact, the only thing that will speed up is the outflow of money from your account. 2. Excessive emotional appeal. You don't deserve to continue in this situation. The power is within you, but only I can help you access it. Wow! How deep, right? Make no mistake. This is emotional manipulation in the vein. They play on your insecurities, making you believe that you will only be able to get out of the hole if you pay for the next course, which, surprise, costs a small fortune. 3. Lack of real credentials. The coach has 1,000 titles, but you can't trace the origin of any? Strange thing, right? Many fake coaches invent impressive titles or claim to have training in areas that are not regulated. Graduated from the University of Life is their favorite. Make sure that the professional has recognized training and that their credentials are more than just words thrown in the air. 4. Charging very high values. If a 2-hour course costs the equivalent of a month's rent, you already know something is wrong. Fake coaches love to put absurd prices to give the feeling that what they are offering is very special. It is the famous, if it's expensive, it must be good effect, right? In the end, you'll have paid for a lot of pretty words and generic stuff. The importance of search. Google is your best friend. Just as you wouldn't buy a car without doing some research, or at least you should, the same goes for hiring someone who will help you improve your life. So, before you throw yourself headlong into the world of coaching, do your homework. Research credentials. Don't just get carried away by what the coach says about himself. Check if he has any relevant training in areas such as psychology, administration, finance, or any other that he claims to be an expert in. Make sure that the professional has recognition from serious institutions. If there is no information available or you only find vague testimonials on social media, run in the opposite direction. The least you should expect from someone who presents themselves as an expert is a real and verifiable qualification. Question the methodology. You have the right to know where the magic formula came from. Coaches love to talk about formulas, steps, and foolproof strategies, but they rarely explain where they got all this from. Ask. Question. If you're about to invest your money and your trust in someone, it's your right to know what the basis of their methodology are. Is it scientifically proven? Are there any studies that support this approach? How many people have tried this method and actually succeeded? The truth is that most coaches won't be able to give you a clear answer. And that's when you realize that it's all just bullshit. Demand evidence. If the coach starts to fool you with vague answers like, only those who have lived know, or I am living proof that it works, be suspicious. Serious and proven techniques are supported by studies, not just success testimonies of people who may well be extras in a 9 o'clock soap opera. Self-knowledge as a defense. You don't need a guru to improve. Perhaps the most valuable advice here is, trust yourself more. Sure, outside help is important, but blindly relying on someone to fix your life is a dangerous path. Self-knowledge is the best tool to shield yourself against these false coaches. Think of it this way. No one knows your own challenges, strengths, and weaknesses better than you do. Instead of going out desperate after gurus, how about investing in your own process of self-discovery? Read books by renowned authors. Take courses offered by respected institutions. Talk to real professionals, such as psychologists and mentors with training. Not only will this help you filter out the nonsense that many fake coaches sell, but it will also empower you to make more conscious decisions and, most importantly, without having to spend a fortune on empty promises. Resisting false coaches is an exercise in patience, research, and, above all, common sense. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably a scam disguised as self-knowledge. Learn to identify the warning signs, do your research, and remember, you are the one who controls your growth, not someone who charges thousands of dollars to tell you something you can already learn on your own, with a good book and a little reflection. So the next time someone promises to change your life in a 15-minute live stream, do yourself a favor, switch feeds. Chapter 6. Conclusion. In search of the grail of self-sufficiency and other adventures. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You've survived the epic journey to identify the fake coaches, those masters of deception who make manipulative marketing a true art. Who knew the coaching world was so full of empty promises and dubious strategies? And if you, like me, are thinking that there should be strict regulation for this profession, you are not alone. Regulation, the holy grail of protection against modern embezzlement. If the coaching profession were regulated with the same rigor as, say, the hairdressing profession, perhaps we wouldn't have as much problem with promises of wealth in 30 days and manifestation, techniques that look more like low-quality cake recipes. Wouldn't it be amazing if, instead of magic formulas, coaches had to show that they actually went through some form of legitimate and verifiable training? Just imagine an official exam to obtain the title of certified coach, where you would need to prove that you are not just throwing words to the wind and trying to look like a more charismatic version of the bag man. Only instead of candy, you are selling illusions. This kind of regulation would prevent anyone, armed with a charming smile and a PowerPoint presentation, from charging exorbitant prices and turning frustrations into profits. Critical thinking, your best defense against easy promises. But instead of waiting for the government to step in and create a law that protects our fragile hearts and bank accounts, you can do something even simpler. Think critically. Don't fall into the trap of believing anyone who claims to have the solution to all your problems. Easy promises are often just formulas for failure disguised as self-help. Remember, if someone is selling you a secret that will transform you from a wretched mortal to an accomplished millionaire in a month, the only true secret is that you're about to lose a good chunk of your money. Be like a detective, investigate, question, and above all, don't be fooled. Use common sense. If it looks like a scam disguised as coaching, that's because it probably is. Hope. True growth is in you, not magic formulas. At the end of the day, true personal growth doesn't come from quick fixes or self-help gurus who promise to transform your life in 30 days. Growth is an ongoing process, and no, you won't find a brilliant shortcut to self-fulfillment that costs the price of a used car. The real journey of personal development is like a marathon, long, challenging, and often without shiny medals at the end. But it's a worthwhile journey. And contrary to what many coaches may suggest, you don't need a magic wand to achieve your goals. What you really need is patient self-knowledge and a good dose of hard work. So the next time someone tries to sell you a fast track to happiness or success, smile, say thank you, and move on. Continue your journey with authenticity, without being fooled by promises that do more for your pockets than for your actual growth. At the end of the day, the real power is in your own hands. And contrary to what some gurus would have you believe, you don't need a guru to shine. You already have everything you need. You just need to believe in it and work to achieve your goals without magic shortcuts. So, lift your head, smile, and move on, because the only coach who can really transform your life is yourself. And that's more rewarding than any magic formula you can find. And